Please welcome Terrence Ruffin.
This is the one thing that teaches you how to control your waist. It's the one thing that you don't train at the gym.
A former Arnold Classic champion, runner-up at the Olympia.
I've had natural athletes look better than enhanced athletes.
100%, me too.
And at that point, bro, I'm like, you kind of want to tell them like maybe bodybuilding isn't for you. And I know some like well-respected coaches that were also, getting sourced through them. And then, we all kind of find out. I think I found out a little bit later than some of the other guys.
Silver medal, $15,000 to your runner-up, Terrence Ruffin.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Terrence Ruffin, also known as Ruff Diesel, is a classic physique IFBB pro, two-time Arnold Classic champ, two-time Mr. Olympia runner-up, and owner of Iron Eden Coaching. Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Yo, what's up, man? Happy to be here.
Is your birthday in 3 days?
Yeah, I had to check the calendar.
Damn, dude. What the hell? Happy birthday, bro.
Appreciate it, yeah. I'm losing track of the days, but I'll be actually be I won't be doing anything, honestly. We might go out and walk around, but like I can't even have food, so
right. Because it's like what, 2 weeks out now, huh?
Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks out. 100, yeah. And then we had I was out of town for like 6 weeks or 5 weeks competing, and so we had like me coming back home, and we just wrapped in the birthday dinner into that like last week.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, for everybody who doesn't know, Terrence is about to go up on stage in 2 weeks for the Olympia. Big ass deal.
Yeah. This will be, I don't know which one it'll be. It started in 2016 and I sat out for one. So this will be like 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22. This will be the 7th one. Yeah.
Damn, dude, 7 Olympias. That's crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah. It is a little. They kind of blur together. They kind of blur together. They kind of go by quick. Honestly, yeah.
How many shows have you done total?
Actually, I haven't done that many. Compared to like classic guys, I was talking about the other day. Classic guys don't really do a ton of shows compared to like men's physique or even some bodybuilders compete more than us, like Ian and Nathan Diasha. But
how many times has Ian?
I did 5 shows my first year. 2016, 2017, 1, 2018, I did 2, that's 8, 2019, 1, 2020, 2, that's 11, 2021, 2, that's 13, 14, 15. So I've done 15 shows.
Damn, that's not nearly as many as I thought you would.
Nah, I do usually like 2 a year. This will be 3. But yeah, normally like 2, and that's usually like the Arnold and the Olympia.
Bro, that's fucking crazy that half of the shows that you've done are like Olympias. That's fucking nuts, dude. That's insane.
Yeah. Shoot. There's only 2 shows on my bucket list I really want to, well, 2 or 3. New York, Pittsburgh, I want to do that probably next year. And then maybe Hawaii, because I just love Hawaii. So that'll give me a reason to go. Yeah.
Do you think it'll like give you a little chance to eat some spam musubi after the show?
Oh my god, yes, and ube, bro. Like,
oh shit,
I love it there, man. Like it's just expensive and like isolated. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I was gonna go back this year, but I'm going out to Asia for work. So probably next year I'll go.
Gotcha, bet. But anyways, I was thinking though, I personally think that you have literally some of the best proportions I've ever seen on stage. On the classic stage, for sure.
It, man. My first
definitely. What's up?
Say what?
I was gonna say definitely some of the best posing I think I've ever seen too, bro. Like that shit's glamorous, bro.
I appreciate it, man. It just, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's just a lot of hard work, but also like a lot of like talent as well. A little bit of both, obviously. Yeah.
So I kind of have this question for the viewers as well, because this is something that obviously I think about as well. But you know, a majority of this is genetics, but do you happen to have any recommendations for aspiring bodybuilding competitors that want to maintain a small waist, building proportions like that?
A lot of it, man, it has to do with like just being on top of what you're supposed to do. So like, you know, I'm a student of bodybuilding, so I've seen a lot, and like one case in particular, like it really stands out to me, and that's Rolly Winkler. Like back, like maybe 3-4 years ago, Rolly Winkler got called out on stage by Arnold for having a bubble cut, and then the next year he came back, he could hit a vacuum.
Damn.
And he when he was on stage, he called out Arnold for telling him that and said that's why he fixed it. And from my opinion, a lot of it has to do with the foods you eat, the digestion, and then what you're eating like right before you get on stage. Like some people overdo it with the carb ups, especially when they get back, you know, they're getting on stage. And then you can come in. And then the other thing is just training your waist in the off season. So like vacuums, things like that.
What's up?
How do you keep a tight waist?
I like his style.
Thanks.
So, right?
Yes, I like the hair and the whole like.
You want to see?
I know you from
Wow,
somewhere.
thanks.
Like I know the look from somewhere.
Oh, nice.
What's your name?
Niall.
Niall.
He's on Instagram.
Yeah, I know his look from somewhere. I probably don't catch up with everything, but
Oh, by the way, I saw y'all's last picture. You guys look fucking crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, it was dope.
We were both checking in with Yassine, and then we took some photos, and it was really good.
yeah, it was nice.
That he told me that you've only done 3 pro shows.
Yes.
No,
That's my third prep.
third prep. That's what it was. Yeah.
Your third prep. Okay. Oh, or this is your third prep.
Yeah, but
Damn.
when I started, I knew I needed time. That's the thing about me. I'm very patient, but I also really work really hard. So I did that for a long period of time, like 3 years, consistently. And then I decided, okay, I'm ready for that first show. You know, I'm at that level where I
Okay.
can compete. And even after that first show, I decided I need more for a pro show.
Oh fuck, man. That is such a necessary, and that's something that's literally like writing in my life right now. Is like I finally decided to make this whole switch from social media shreds and lifestyle shreds, right, to competing. And I'm thinking like, you know, maybe I can just I've done 6 months of a bulk. Maybe I can take a whole year of a bulk. But my fucking perspective is just like yours. I'm like, if I want to make it big and I want to do something
Yes.
big, I feel like
Yeah.
I need to take like 3 years or something.
It takes time. It takes years.
Yeah. I think a lot of people rush it.
They do. And coaches do too. They're like, I want to put my client on stage. And I'm like, they need more time.
Yeah, because that's really all it is, right? Like I think there's this common like cliche belief in the industry among a lot of Gen Pop and just viewers of bodybuilding that believe that the way you get big is just blasting high doses of like steroids. But when it comes to like bodybuilding, it's not, because you do that and you just incur all the side effects in yourself, but you don't speed up the process, not nearly as much as you hope. It really comes down to just like the sustainability of like years and years of
100%.
being in that
100%.
surplus.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
And then nobody wants to like have soft abs for like 3 years straight.
Nah, yeah. But I mean, like, especially more so with women, like, you want to, you can't be like show ready, you know, year round, but you can't become like
Yeah.
a fat ass in off season.
This is
either.
what I explained recently. I was watching one of John Jewett's courses online, and it's something I agree with a lot because of our hormones, and it's completely different than men's. Even during the off season, you want to maintain a certain condition. You grow better at a leaner state. Obviously not stage ready, but a good condition in off season, not putting on unnecessary weight on us. You want to bulk the right way and put on quality size. That's what we're looking for at the end of the day. And that makes it easier too for prep later on. It will be much easier to prep. You won't have to push so hard for that.
Yeah. I remember one time I bulked up to like 198 pounds. And then by the time I competed, I was 154. That was the worst.
Damn.
That's the worst. That was my second prep. It was I remember the first time hopping back on cardio. I was supposed to do 30 minutes on the stairs, and I literally couldn't do it. I was like gassed. I did like 15 minutes. I was like, yo, that's all I could do today.
That's actually what I did after my show, Miami, the one I won. Me and Yassine, my coach, we were like, we're going to stay as lean as we can. And that's what we did. Right now, I'm only on 30 minutes of cardio, and I'm literally eating so much food. Like, I have a lot of carbs in my meals, and I keep getting leaner. I keep getting tighter. I even had a cheat meal last night, and I'm 2 weeks out.
Oh,
you know, because
yeah.
I was super flat yesterday, but I look, you know, I'm like legit ready. I could step on stage right now. You know?
No, yeah, that's how I feel looking at those pictures too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Insane.
I'm very happy with this look that I'm bringing this time. It's gonna be fantastic.
So I feel like that totally makes sense about, you know, how you don't want to get too heavy before you start a prep, because then, you know, you're kind of like going in reverse. Now you have a much longer prep that you have to incur. But if you're do you remember why he said that you actually make more efficient gains at a leaner body fat?
Something that has to do with hormones.
Okay.
I haven't watched the whole thing, but it is about hormones. Just different hormones.
Gotcha. I do remember reading up on some things, and I think Jeff Nipper also like cited some papers in one of his videos, but basically stating that there's definitely a most optimal percentage of body fat that you could be in order to make those gains.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I think for men it was like,
you go ahead.
I think for men it was like 13 to 18% or something like that, somewhere around that range, maybe like 12 to 18 or something.
I definitely think there's a tipping point. You know, like once you get to a certain body fat percentage, other things, like you said, hormonally wise, will start to negatively impact muscle building, especially like your insulin sensitivity.
100%.
Oh yeah, that's facts.
That's probably the biggest. That's probably the biggest thing that'll cause issues with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a really good point. I always forget about how like the amount of body fat you have on you affects your insulin sensitivity, which is huge for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So I was actually asking him this question. I'm wondering if you have an input on this, but like I was saying to Terrence that I think he has like some of the best proportions I've ever seen on the classic stage.
I agree. I cannot agree anymore. Like he not because he's my husband. I say this to everyone. It's not because he's my husband. When I look at him, I see classic. I see a classic physique bodybuilder. He fits the criteria so well. Sorry for the word, but yes. And when I look at the other guys right now, what I'm seeing, I like them all. Don't get me wrong, but they're getting too big for the criteria. Mm-hmm. Classic, too big.
Yeah, I think
like they could legit compete in 212.
Some of the guys definitely I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know it's funny when they upped the weight class. I had a feeling like some guys would take that the wrong way.
Yeah.
There's one guy in particular from Spain. Like he's a big guy, and when they upped the weight limit, he's like, okay, you know, making weight's not gonna be an issue. And then I'm pretty sure they told him, even though he can make weight for classic, to switch to 212. You know, especially for shorter guys, I think we're more like scrutinized if we get too big, because it's I've had years, and especially in the off season, people are like, oh man, are you doing 212? And I'm like, no, I'm doing classic, you know. But I feel like, you know, I've literally never heard anyone like 5'10" or over in the off season they get big and they're like, oh, you should do open, you know. So I definitely think if you're a little shorter, you really have to pay attention to like your proportions, your waistline, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. The proportions confuse me when it comes to height. Sometimes I'm just wondering, like, are the taller guys always going to like conquer in the Olympia stage when, you know, you're comparing all these different types of heights?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm literally the shortest guy on stage, and I've beaten every single person at least once. So I feel like if you follow bodybuilding, you follow me, then my career has been like a huge point of like, that doesn't make any sense of like taller guys winning. Because every single person I compete with is taller than me.
Okay, yeah,
every single one of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
See, that's what I would feel too, man. One of the big reasons why I was so excited to get into bodybuilding when I was like 12 years old is because it's the only sport where I thought being short was an advantage.
I think people put a little bit too much on the height. I think because I mean, like, You've had Miss Olympias at every height. You had like Danny. Danny's my height. I'm obviously like first year classic. You know, things are still being figured out. Maybe some people are a little bit weird about that. But Danny was like 5'5". I think Breon's 5'7". Chris is 6'1", 6'2". So you've had guys at every height. You know, and I think two people. It's real quick, dude. I remember 3 years ago, Chris won the Olympia, and everyone was like, I think tall guys are going to start taking over. And I'm like, well, you know, like, and then for the, I went at Arnold, and then people still saying that. I placed second again. People are still saying that. I think people rely too much on like who Miss Olympia is, and they try to think that's the whole category. But the thing is a lot of bodybuilding is like whoever
fits the criteria best and this lineup
at that
wins.
second.
Yeah. Because Robert Thames didn't win the show against the Korean guy out in Texas. So like you can find instances everywhere of tall guys being short guys being tall guys. It's just who looks best on that day.
Yeah.
So the question I was going to ask you though, that I was asking him is like, for any aspiring bodybuilding competitors, would you have any recommendations for maintaining a small waist as they're trying to gain mass?
Yes, and I do that every single morning. Vacuums.
Oh, okay. Frank Zane actually said this too.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the one thing that teaches you how to control your waist. It's the one thing that you don't train at the gym, but you train with vacuums. And it controls that. It teaches you how to control your core at all times.
Okay. I think you guys both made pretty good points. I've heard, I remember Vigorous Steve was mentioning gut health and like food volume, what you're eating, digestion as one big thing for the gut for sure. And then the vacuum is definitely a big part of that, because how are you going to vacuum when you have that gut? That shit's impossible. Yeah. I've been trying to practice myself vacuums, which is like the hardest thing. But I think I've noticed for myself is like sometimes I just really have to pack on the rice in order to get like the calories in without my gut extending. And then I'm always thinking like, when I step on stage and like carb up, how am I going to be able to like eat enough carbs without my gut going huge?
It depends, man. So like I think social media puts really bad ideas in our head. Like everyone has a gut, like, you know, after eating like 3 cups of rice or like 300 grams of rice or whatever, and they're just letting it, you know, hang and relax in the off season. But as for on stage, I think carbing up a little bit earlier might be your best bet. Like at least for me, like most of my carb up is done like the day before. The morning of, I'm not eating very much at all. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the morning of, I eat like, you know, smaller meals, maybe 2, depending on what time the show is. But if the show's around 9 a.m., or 10 a.m., most shows around that time, I'm doing like 2 meals and then having some like honey and salt backstage to help pump up, and that's it.
Nice. I was about to ask if you've ever had like sugar before, like the day of.
Yeah, I've done a lot of different things. You know, I've had some pretty like awesome coaches over the years. I've had like pre-workouts before backstage.
Oh snap!
Yeah, like stimulate pre-workouts. Yeah, the pump. Yeah, I've done that. I've done like I haven't done rice cakes in years though. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it, but usually backstage now we got the same coach. Usually it's just honey, and salt, and a little bit of water. Yeah.
That makes sense.
And that's good.
Which makes sense though.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense. I'm obsessed with cyclic dextrin, like just anytime, whether I'm bulking or like cutting or anything. So I can't even imagine like stepping on before stage. I definitely don't want to eat like a rice cake or any volume of carbs.
Yeah, it's a really good option. Yeah. Very easy on the stomach. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. By the way, there was actually, I think one of the people in my audience wanted to ask you a question that was related to that, related to your coaches, I think. I might just ask it later, because normally if you're down for it, normally I just do a little Q&A with what the audience has questions to ask. But honestly, dude, they're. I feel like out of all the people that I've had on the podcast recently, they're like the most excited to hear from you.
That's good.
I think my audience they're all like hardcore bodybuilder people. So whenever I have someone like Shizzy Sean come on the podcast who like is famous for being a natural, everyone's like, dude, he's lying. He's taking steroids.
Oh damn. Okay. Yeah, we keep it 100 here.
Yeah.
100%.
It's such a thin line though, man. I swear to God. Like I feel like that's the biggest topic in the industry these days is natural.
Yeah, man, natty or not, like people whole like they get famous off of just talking about it. Like their whole page is just that. Dude, honestly, man, like as a coach though, like me, she's been coaching for what, like 6 months, 8 months now?
A year.
A year. Yeah, a year. It's pretty crazy what like how much it varies, like people's individual response to anabolics. Like,
right.
I've had some natural athletes look better than enhanced athletes.
100%,
like,
me too.
And at that point, bro, I'm like, you kind of want to tell them like maybe bodybuilding isn't for you.
I always say that
it's bad, yeah.
they're not magic pills. They are just like that. You consider it like the cherry on top to everything else.
Yeah, like even me, like I have like my like strengths and genetics wise. Like when I think about genetics, there's like several different things. There's like, like bone structure, like shape of your muscles, how easy you can get in condition, response to training, response to anabolics. There's a whole bunch of different people just say genetics. They think like this whole thing is several things. And so like with me, my response to anabolics hasn't been that great. Naturally, my first show I was like 154 pounds, and then at Legion I was 168 pounds. So like I haven't gained a whole bunch of. That's 10. My first show was last time I was natural, that was 2014. So it's 9 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
9 years and you gained.
That is really bad, Terrence.
You gained 14 pounds?
That's crazy. I mean, I think I have gained like from Miami to now, it was like what, 3 months? I went up 5 kilos.
She put on a lot of weight.
And I'm leaner than I was than Miami.
Shit. That's crazy. That's crazy as hell.
So yeah, it is. I've had clients, and I'm like, bro, like this one client I had, Josh, some of the best genetics, like in terms of response I've ever seen, like just TRT, and he's like already at his cap for classic, within like 2-3 years. So I mean, like
what?
Yeah.
So I mean, my strengths are like the shape of my muscles, everything like that. But like in terms of actually putting on pounds of tissue, that's not something I was gifted with at all. That's why I didn't start to hit my peak until I started training with Joe, and I started getting some really good training information and training methods. And that's why I've been with him, like what, 5-ish years now. I moved to Tampa just to train with him. I would come down here, like a 7-hour drive once or twice a month to come train, and then once I got out of the military, like I moved my whole life here.
Where are you again right now?
We're in Tampa, Florida, or St. Pete.
Tampa, Florida.
St.
Okay.
Pete, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's insane, bro. That's insane. Do you feel like you're someone who's always held a lot of water weight? Do you feel like you've always been softer, or do you think you've always? Because I feel like you look at someone like Joe Statics, and he's someone that you'd see as like it's harder for him to put on weight, but he's always dry and he's always lean. And then there's the other kind where it's like you look at like a Hawaiian, and they're always big and full, but pretty soft.
I'm like, so relatively speaking, I get in shape pretty easily. Like I'm just doing 30 minutes of like cardio a day, and then most of my day is just doing this, sitting here, like client stuff or YouTube or something like that. So I think that's something I'm pretty good at. I don't think I hold a ton of water. No, but I'm definitely never. I'm not one of those people that stay shredded like Joe Aesthetics or like even Tristan, like those two dudes. Like that's no, I don't. I'm like in the middle, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Tristan has changed that though.
He's not quite as lean as he was, but he was doing a lot to stay lean. I remember he was eating like very little carbs. His steps were crazy high. I can't remember. He did a post on it one time.
You can't go like that. You know,
But
I know it's crazy, but guess how much he's eating right now.
he's probably eating a lot, right?
I have no idea actually.
Guess how many calories.
I would say like
5,000?
I'd say like 3,000 maybe. You know,
He's eating like 4,500 right now.
that's a lot.
4,500.
Well, I did
And
get
he's
I
short,
did get
yeah.
up to 5,000 after the show.
You did?
A
damn.
lot, and I had sushi refeeds.
That's crazy.
He's more than me at the time. Like I have 6 meals a day right now. She's having 7 meals a day.
Oh shit. Wait, what's your
Yeah, I know,
ethnicity,
right?
if you don't mind me asking?
Lebanese.
Lebanese.
So
Okay, interesting.
it's in the Middle East. I'm Arab.
Huh.
They got
Is
top
it,
tier bodybuilding genetics.
Samir Ben.
They do have some insane genetics, dude. I always find that it's always the tall white guys that have to eat like 5,000, 6,000 calories to like gain weight, and it's all like the dark skinned guys like Hawaiians and Filipinos and I think more often than not black people who like we like respond a lot easier to carbs, so it's easier for us to like get fat.
Dude, I would
Probably easier
love
for
like
us to
this will never
get
happen,
muscle.
but I would love it if like some type of like geneticist or like something with specifically for bodybuilding would look back into the past of different ethnicities and see why they respond the way they do, see why their muscles are shaped certain different ways. Like certain groups have better quads, like worse calves, better backs, you know, all that stuff. I would love to see some stuff like that. But I don't think that's gonna happen. But
I don't think so either, bro.
it would be cool. It'd be cool.
Nobody cares about funding science papers for bodybuilders. So I wanted to ask, what's like your earliest memory that defined you to do bodybuilding and like become this accomplished bodybuilder?
The first time I saw a body, so like I had just failed out of special forces training in the Air Force. And I remember I started lifting weights to get bigger to go back and try it again because I was 125 pounds. So it's like, you know, I was pretty good at some stuff, but certain stuff I just needed to be bigger. And I remember this guy was telling me to look at bodybuilding, you know, because I was growing so well. So I walked down to the local like grocery store, gas station, whatever. And I picked up a magazine and I saw Dexter Jackson on the cover. And from that moment on, I was like, this is what I was going to do. And then like 6 months later, I did my first show. And then 1 year, like a year and a half after that, I got my pro card. And
Damn, bro, that's crazy. You got your pro card at like, was it 21 or?
I got my pro card at 21. Yeah, a month after my birthday. I wanted to do USA's, which was when I was still 20, but I couldn't afford it, so I had to save up to do nationals in November. You know, but I don't know if I would have won. Who knows? But you know, that's something I always think about.
Dude, so does that make you the youngest like classic physique IFBB pro? Do you know?
So I turned pro in bodybuilding. It wasn't classic when I turned pro.
Oh,
it took another 2
bodybuilding.
years. Yeah, it took 2 years.
Oh shit, because classic didn't exist at the time.
Yeah, getting old, I guess.
Jesus
but yeah.
Christ.
You're not old.
Thank you. But no, it wasn't around yet. I turned pro in 2014, so classic came out in 2016. I'm not the youngest pro. I'm one of the youngest. I know there's one guy. I may be like the third or fourth. Like I know there's one guy that turned pro at like 19, and then Cody Montgomery turned pro at 20. So those are the only two I know younger than me. But Cody was okay.
I'm gonna go, but it was very nice meeting you.
All right.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you too.
Gotta get some food and keep all those games.
All right.
She gets a whole extra meal, so we'll have our last meal together. This is something
Nice.
she eats by herself. Oh man, but yeah. Yeah.
So it was a picture of Dexter Jackson on a magazine.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy because like, well, you know, like I was a young kid. I got into bodybuilding at 18, and like in my mind, like again, there was no classic, so I was like, I'm gonna weigh like 185 pounds, and I'm gonna be on stage next to Dexter Jackson. That was like my main goal, and that never happened. But it's cool to be on the same stage as him. And you know what's crazy? I remember like 5 years ago, my cousin went to the Air Force Academy, And then I saw a post from Dexter Jackson saying his daughter was at the Air Force Academy. And I was like, yo, bro, go be friends with this girl right here. I sent the photo over. and yo, guess what? He was the best man at her wedding. So
What?
yeah. He's like
That's
best friends
crazy.
with her husband now. Yeah, he's been like to Dexter's house. Dude, it's crazy. It's pretty cool, man. Dexter Jackson, it's pretty cool, man, to have that relationship now. But I've done some cool stuff, man. Even though I didn't quite turn out the way I planned, like I thought things would take a lot longer to get to where I was. And I thought it would be different, but I'm really happy with like Classic coming out, because honestly, if it didn't, then I don't think I would be around like where I am today, because I'm still not,
Right.
I'm nowhere near big enough to do 212 still.
Yeah,
I'm not even
for
at the
sure.
classic weight cap, So, yeah.
Wait, what's a classic weight cap for you?
For me, it's 182. So like my weight was really weird. Like I said, I weighed 168 at Legion, but I've weighed up to like one of the Arnolds. I was 179. So I'm actually like 10 pounds lighter than some of the years in the past. It's really weird. Really weird. I did not expect to be this light this year. It really kind of messed with my head. But
What did your coaches say about it?
personally, I think it's from a bad source. So I think I was like natty this whole off season. Honestly, yeah. But it is what it is, Yeah, that guy he lost out on a lot of money because a lot of people in the area was getting stuff from him, but it kind of got around because because I
So
mean,
a
like
lot
I
of
know
people
some
have-
other pros. Yeah, a lot of people in Florida. I know some other pros that were using him, and I know some like well-respected coaches that were also getting sourced through them, and then. We all kind of find out. I think I found out a little bit later than some of the other guys. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm excited for the off season though, man. Like with the weight increase, and then and the reason I say that too is like since I found a new person, I'm weighing 178 right now, so my weight's kind of jumped back up. So I don't know what I'm gonna weigh at the Olympia. I'm not gonna stress about it. We'll just bring the best look I got, and then this off season just focus on growing and doing my best there. Yeah,
Absolutely. Damn, that's crazy. So wait, when did they move up the weight cap for Classic? Do you remember?
yeah. It was it was terrible timing. It was like 5 or 6 weeks before Dubai. Dubai was September like 27th, so like a month. So like August this year. They announced it, and I'm like, well, I can't really do much with this since I'm already like 6 weeks out from a show. I think the best time it would have been post Olympia. So
Right,
like,
right.
do the
Yeah, I
shows,
feel
and
like
everyone has a full year, to like make the changes.
Right, because August, September, October. Well, I guess maybe not everybody would have been in prep by that time, but probably some
No, just
people.
me, just me.
Just you. God damn, dude.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm 6, so like everyone else above me does not have to do any shows this year. They just do the Olympia, so they got. I mean, yeah, they don't have to. They didn't have to cut as hard probably, but
Fifth and fourth place don't have to qualify either. Requalify.
yeah, at least it changed. It's changed a lot, but yeah, this time around, yeah, 5th and 6th, no, 4th and 5th qualify too. Yeah.
But they qualify automatically for the next Olympia. Too, you said. Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know that either. Because I feel like the last time I remember even like paying attention to that.
It changes
were
a lot. I
able
think
to.
2 years ago it was just top 3. Yeah, 2 years ago it was just top 3.
Well, I think you're still going to look phenomenal when you jump on that stage, bro. Honestly.
I'm really happy with the look, to be honest with you. Like I said at first, the weight really bothered me, but then you let go of that number and you look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, this looks good,
Right, and it just comes down to the look, anyways, right?
Yeah.
Is there like a memory you have of the first time you started lifting, or how old were you when you started?
I got a baby photo of me lifting, but like I don't count that. I was like, oh, shit. The first time, like legit, I started lifting when I was like 13 or something. My mom was dating this guy, and he had like a home gym. So like when we would go visit, I would just go work out in there for a little bit. So that was the first time I started lifting weights, and I kind of got into it then, but I didn't seriously get into lifting weights until maybe football, like 3-4 years later. I remember at that point, like I remember the first time I walked into like the rec center at the high school, and I tried to bench press like the bar, and I couldn't, and I just get up and I just walk out.
No shit.
I was like, this is embarrassing. I mean, I eventually came back and started lifting and getting stronger, but like, yeah, that was definitely not what I was hoping for when coming in the gym.
How old were you at this age?
That was first year of high school, so I was like, what is that, 14, 15?
Yeah, like 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
I
bro.
probably weighed like 100 pounds or something. So the bar was, probably like 100 pounds.
That's insane. Would you categorize yourself as a hard gainer since then?
So like when I first started lifting, I got really good newbie gains. I went from like 125 to 155, like naturally, like pretty quickly, within like 6 months. So that was amazing.
Oh shit.
That was like the best time of my life. Bro, I was eating so much, and like when people they stress out, they're like, oh man, I'm not eating the right things. I just got started. Like I was going through, if anyone's been in the military, I was going through the Air Force calls it tech school. So basically where you learn your job you're gonna do at the base. So it's just like school. It's just so I would wake up in the morning, I would go to the dining hall, I would get breakfast, eat, and then I would take a meal with me, and I would eat at break when I was in class. Then I'll have lunch, and then I'll take a meal with me, eat that, and I have dinner. So I would eat like 6 times a day, and just random, like whatever they had at the dining hall. I knew I needed protein, so I would, do the chickens and whatnot or whatever meat they had, and then like probably not the best source, but I would have they would have these soy protein milks, and I would drink that, Not the best thing, but like you do the best you can with what you got, man. It doesn't need to be perfect,
Bro, I chugged those soy protein milks. Especially like the silk milks, bro. I fucking chugged that shit.
That's what it was. Yep. Silk milks. That's what
I heard that it gives you tits. I was like, what the fuck have I been drinking, bro?
So nah, dude, yeah. Every weekend, I didn't have much money, but every weekend I would go get like some type of like cheap meal, whether it was Chinese food or Taco Bell or whatever it is, man, burgers. And that's what I did for like the first year,
Damn. I had a similar experience, but I started lifting when I was 12, except that like I started off fat. So I feel like for my entire like first 10 years of lifting, I was like trying to push a deficit to like, lifting, since I hated running, lifting was like my way of like trying to get lean. It's like a hard call to imagine how much you would have gained if it had been the other way around. If you had been eating a surplus rather than like trying to lift for 10 years on a deficit. But
okay. No, that's definitely difficult. Yeah.
I do still think it made a significant difference, which is why I think I like to push to anyone that's younger that wants to like become jacked or something, whatever, someday. Like honestly, just start lifting young, except for like heavy overhead press or heavy squats. Like just start lifting young.
I agree, man. Yeah. I say the big lifting young, and then like you said, man, I'm guessing you're saying that so they don't injure themselves. I would definitely say that's the biggest thing that'll hold you back, man, long term, is if you get hurt. Some of that stuff can go with you for like a lifetime, So definitely be smart in the gym. When you're younger, you typically can heal from it, but at the same time, dude, I still got injured. Most of my injuries that I feel right now come from back when I was doing dumb shit in the gym when I was like 19 years old,
Yeah, dude, me too. It was all from college. I was trying to hit PRs to like show off in the college gym. Now I can't bench or squat worth shit.
Bro, it's bad. My worst one is I get like tension headaches, and it happened. I remember exactly when it happened. It happened when I was 18. Like I was bench pressing. I was incline bench pressing, and I guess I strained too hard, and I heard like a snap in my neck.
Oh,
and like
shit.
I don't know. The doctors, I don't really know what it was, but I get tension headaches. Like it used to be daily. Now it's maybe like a couple times a month. But yeah,
But it's whenever you're just lifting too hard, right?
So for a longest time, I had to like learn how to lift like properly. Oddly enough, now, man, it only happens like on my rest days if I'm not doing something. Like it'll pop up, yeah. Or like if I like lay down weird, it'll happen. Like it happened the other night. I don't know what I was doing, but like yeah, it'll bother me from time. Or even when I'm dehydrated now. Like when I was in Dubai for the first week, it was just like giving me a ton of pain back here. So yeah, I don't know, man. It just is what it is. For the longest time, I would do like muscle relaxers, and that like really got rid of it. But I try to stay away from like stuff like that now. So like I did, I switched to like indica for a long time, and that helped out a lot. And now I don't really do anything for it. Like it happens so rarely. I'll just like go to bed or take a Tylenol.
I feel like I don't feel like I've had those maybe twice in my life. And this last time was literally just 6 months ago. I was doing squats super heavy for like 8 reps, and then I went to the hack squat, and I decided to go for 20 reps. I don't know fucking why.
Oh,
shit. It's not part of my program. I decided to change the rep range up, and then like on the 20th rep, I was like to failure, and I couldn't even make it. And then suddenly I just had this like explosion, this feeling of explosion in my head, dude. I was like on the ground for like several minutes. My friend was like, "What the fuck's going on? Are you okay?" Or whatever. Yeah, looked it up earlier or later, and it was basically the same thing. It was like an effort related headache.
It was really bad. Like I remember when it first happened, like I literally couldn't sleep that night. And so I went to the hospital, and they did like a spinal. They thought it was something like I was bleeding from my brain. So they did spinal tap.
Oh, Jesus.
On me. Yeah. I was like, if you guys have seen a spinal tap, they put this long needle in, you bend over and they put this needle in your spine. They see if you're bleeding. Bro, like that shit hurt. I felt that for like a month. And then the second time, like I would get tension headaches, like, but they'd be very mild. But then I tried lifting hard again, and then it happened really bad, and I like started puking like really bad from just the headache. And then they did a spinal tap again, and like, and then the third time I had an issue, they said they want to do a spinal tap, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. They said, oh, but you could die. I was like, I know it's not. I'm not bleeding from my brain. I'm fine. And then I just switched doctors, and the doctor was like, oh, you're just having tension headaches. Take this muscle relaxer. And just like that, I was good. And that took a year to find that doctor.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
bro. The healthcare system. Oh, my gosh.
I know. You have to be like your own doctor these days.
Yeah. That's when I learned, like, doctors don't know everything. They know a little bit about a lot of different things, but they're not, like, experts in, like, anything.
Mm-hmm. I think the best I've ever found in terms of like figuring out what's going on with my own health has been like collaborating with the doctor after doing my own research, and then also talking to other people in this industry that are like that know shit, like talking to like Vigorous Steve or like More Plates and stuff, and getting their advice on things. It kind of like makes it a lot easier, because then you have like an average of all this information that you can put together and be like, this makes a lot more sense than just whatever the doctor's saying.
I think that's great, man. I think that's 100%, man. And you just got to find the right doctors. Like I've seen some doctors, and they don't want to listen to a word you got to say. You know, I think if anyone has that type of doctor, they should just like go find somebody else. You know.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. As far as when you were competing, did you feel like you had some things that worked for you that didn't work for others?
You know, I know, like, I was just talking about this the other day. There's a lot of people that say they cut out all the artificial stuff, like some people the last month of prep. And I've tested it out, like, both ways, where you cut it out and you keep it in. And I don't really have any issues with, like, artificial sweeteners or anything like that. You know, the things, I mean, like, I do have issues with, like, Walden Farms and shit. Like, I don't do any of that because I can digestively, I feel it. Like, I get bloated, I get gassy. But just like Mios and like some people cut out pre-workouts and stuff like that, or creatine. I don't do any of that, you know. I don't even, you know, personally, I don't even know if they see a difference from it. You know, it might just be like something ingrained in them, like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. But that might be the only thing I can think of. I'm more so know the things that other people can do that I can't do. That's what I tend to focus on. Yeah.
Wait, like what?
You know what, man? Like, I remember my coach, he passed away, but he would use Matt Porter. He would hop on growth and he would just blow up. You know, like what it's basically like what every kid thinks is going to happen when they first take anything. They're going to gain like 20, 30 pounds. That's what would happen to specifically his arms. His arms would get so huge. And like I would take it and like nothing. I think the only thing I get out of growth is I burn a bit more fat. But in terms of like gaining any type of like muscle mass from its being synergistic with other compounds, no, I don't get any of that. So that's something I noticed I can't do. And another thing is that I just have to be very I know something I can do that people can't do. I do 2 sets of quads, and my quads can grow from at least maintain from 2 sets. They can grow from maybe 3 sets.
Damn,
100%. That's insane.
insane.
Yeah. You know, and you know, it's funny. Like I'll tell people, like, you know, if you had to listen to me about a body part, I would rather them listen to me talk about arms, because I've actually had to work to learn how to train arms. Legs, I've literally done every single thing in the book, and no one's ever said my legs look small. I've done like very high volume. I've done very low volume. Even when my legs were like injured when I was in the military, no one noticed a difference. You know, I would just do like one plate on each side on hacks and just do like 30, 40 reps. And I've also done hack squats with like 8 plates. So like, that's one thing that I'm blessed with is like quad genetic and abductors. I don't do anything at all for abductors. I don't do the abductor machine at all. So that's one thing I'm gifted with.
That's nice.
The legs. Yeah.
Yeah, you got pretty fucking crazy legs.
Honestly, it freaked me out. I did legs with my trainer the other day, and then like I took that same group of photos me and her took, like the second one of me doing a side tricep. I actually didn't like it because I was like, man, my legs look like overpowering, you know, compared to my upper body in that shot. So, but yeah, that's my strength is low volume leg days.
That sounds awesome, dude. Mine's the opposite for sure. My strengths are probably my back will blow up, and I think if I hit arms now, it seems like my arms will respond pretty well because I stopped training them for a while. Yeah,
see,
legs. For legs, I got to do like fucking 20 sets.
You know that does suck though. Like if you had to train reps. Something, I mean, if you have to have a good body part, I would just definitely say legs, because like the amount of like intensity and grit you gotta have to build good legs. If you don't have the best genetics, you gotta be a strong motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Plus, I mean, looking at all you guys, you like amazing physiques and classic physique, like you and the top 3 of this year. You know, C-Bum, Dino, Urs. You guys all, in my opinion, the strengths are your legs for sure.
Yeah,
like, everyone has massive freaking legs up there. I feel like that's literally like the most important criteria right now when it comes to the top of class.
I definitely agree, man. You know what's actually funny? Like for decades they would say like, shows are one from the back, and I don't think shows are one from the back in classic at all. No, I don't even think arms are like. Physique. Like Chris's back is awesome now, but his first Mr. Olympia was not very good at all.
Yeah,
Rion definitely beat him from the back that first year. Now that second year it blew up, but that first year I was like, man, I'm surprised they gave it to him. Even Urz's back isn't the best either. Like his legs are fucking crazy, his shape is amazing, but his back double, is still growing. So it's definitely a little different, in classic compared to like other divisions.
Those German legs are nutty, bro. All those Germans have like this massive outer quad sweep, and then like these
their shapes too, man.
Low calves.
I love the dude. That's one thing I wish I had.
Prosthetics.
I bought a calf. I have a calf machine in the other room, so I'm gonna put up a picture of like Urs and just train calves every day.
That's fire. That's a good idea, dude. Honestly, I'll go on top of my stationary treadmill, and I'll just put one foot and I'll just do single leg calf raises like while I'm doing work on my computer, just so I could do extra sets in my week.
But yeah, we bought one piece of equipment for the house, for our apartment till we get a house, and that was a piece we got, a nice seated calf machine. Yeah.
We'll get right back to the podcast in a second, but I just wanted to take this break to thank you guys immensely, because this podcast is my favorite content to create, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. Contributing to it will further help its growth and allow us to listen to more amazing guests such as the one you're listening to today. So if you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so by rating us at 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you find your podcast, or subscribing to the YouTube channel. And if you would like to help fund the podcast, you can do so by using Nile for a discount off of Young LA clothing or huge supplements. Thank you guys again so much. We'll be right back to the podcast. All right, I'm gonna go to some questions that I wanted to ask you. This one I actually got from Chris Williamson. He asked Chris Bumstead this, and I think he also asked Phil Heath. But I cut the exercise in half. So if you could choose 5 exercises you could do for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Oh, for any body part. So this could change literally next month, but right now in 2023, we're month October. 5. Let's do one. Try to do one for every body part. Right now, I'm loving like incline cable curls for biceps. I'm liking overhead tricep extensions for triceps. For shoulders, I'm liking it's kind of shoulders, kind of upper chest, but high incline presses. So not quite like just sitting up straight, but a little bit bent over, doing presses this way. For chest, I'm a machine guy, so like I know the names of like all the machines. But for chest, I've really been loving like the Nautilus Explode press. It's by far my favorite. For back, single arm pull downs. Or maybe like a neutral grip row. For legs, I've been liking leg press lately. I did hack squats for like 5 years straight, like every leg day. But man, I've really been liking leg press a lot. I'll pick 2, leg press and leg extensions. But I would do for quads, and then for hamstrings. There's not a whole lot you can do for hamstrings. People always ask me, like, what do you do for hamstrings? I'm like, there's like 4 exercises, but seated leg curls and lion leg curls, and that'd be it. We gotta throw some calves in there. Donkey calf raises. Wow, good. That's probably more than that's definitely more than 5. Hope you don't mind, but
Wait, why donkey?
Honestly, I just like it, man. Like, so honestly, like I'm not picky. Any like calf press where you're like loaded through the hips, so like you donkey calf raises or leg calf raises on the leg press or 45-degree calf raise, all good. I just like the old school idea of the donkey calf raises.
Okay, nice.
They look cool. You know, you can
Yeah, I did too, bro. I did too. Yeah. For some reason, I feel like that stretch is just, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I wonder if stretch mediated hypertrophy. Mm-hmm. I wonder how true that is for the donkey calf raises.
I don't know, man. Like I watch a lot of like Paul Carter stuff. He actually lives around here, and I know like I don't pay a whole bunch. Like I think sometimes you can get too caught up into like research, like because they're still figuring it out. Like just last year, just this year, they come out with a couple studies that contradict some of the stuff that 100 people, like not 100 people, but a lot of like evidence-based people were following last year. But
do you remember what it was?
Oh man, if you follow, you got to follow the other smart guys that I follow is I think his name's Dr. Wolf or something like that. I have to send you his page. That's why I like Joe. Like Joe's very much like an educated trainer, hypertrophy coach. If you guys don't know Joe's real name, but he's also trained more people than most evidence-based people. Like I love Jeff, I love Cassim, Paul, all these smart guys, but like a lot of times when you're looking at like studies and research papers, you have to realize like who they're doing these studies on, and that demographic is not me. You know, I'm not like a 20-year-old like college kid. And then I think about it too, 100%. Man. Like if you go even deeper, like they talk about this failure training. I'm like, you're having like professors try to have like pretty beginner athletes or pretty beginner like people train to failure, and that's not like they say they're training to failure, but are they actually training to failure? Because one, again, the college professors aren't trainers. That's not what they're really like skilled in. These kids are not really trained to failure. I can almost guarantee you that. So like, how accurate are a lot of these studies? You know, I got into that in that mindset for a while, but where I was going with this was like, I think is very important to like, yeah, you want to take into account like the research that's coming out, but like not change all your training based on the newest study that releases, you know. Take your time, think about it, implement some things here and there, and then, you know, kind of see how it goes. Because like I said, like it's always new research coming out, and you don't want to, you know, do something one year and then the next year you find out like, oh, this wasn't completely accurate or completely true, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I think I talked about this with Sean Shizzy on the previous podcast, but the thing that I've seen observation-wise in regards to all these studies, as well as like what experts have said, like freaking skip my mind. But anyways, basically that there just seems to be a wide range of ways that you can train in order to prioritize hypertrophy, right? Like when it comes to powerlifting, you know, it's the exact same thing. You know, you want to rest like 5 minutes. You want to make sure that you do all this preparation beforehand. You want to make sure you don't go to failure. You don't fatigue yourself, you know, because you're working up to a certain weight. But when it comes to like hypertrophy, it's like you can either do 2 to 5 seconds of an eccentric and it still hits the same. That's a huge range. You know what I mean? You can wait a lot longer of a range of rest between sets if you wanted to. It just seems to be like, oh, and you could hit 8 reps or you could even go up to 25 reps. Like the range is just freaking insane. You know?
I know, right?
So Sean actually trains, he says he always trains to chase a pump. And I'm going to be real, even though it's such a bro philosophy, I think there's a reason why it works so well for classic bodybuilders. Is because,
you know what's interesting, man? Like there's this guy, he kind of paved a lot of the way for like anabolic talk today. I forget his name. Victor Black. I don't know if you heard of him, but he came up with like these safer use models and stuff. He's just not very liked because he's very petty and very he's not good on social media. But like he taught a lot of these guys about the safer use models or evidence based, you know, anabolic use or whatever. And he made a decent point. He's like, we've made a lot of advancements when it comes to like understanding hypertrophy and training, but like how big a difference has it made in like the top level physiques, you know, over the past 20 years? And I was like, that's kind of a good point. I was like, I look back, what 20 years ago was 2000. I mean, Jay Cutler, obviously this is top tier genetics, you know, but I was like, at least on the Olympia level, the physiques haven't really progressed that much, you know? You know, if you ask some people, they say they, you know, 2090s, they look better. You know, I don't know, but I was like, man, that's kind of a decent point that you're making here. But at the same time, you know, I do understand that like that a lot of that research is for like the average individual, and like if we looked at like guys who aren't like the top tier when it comes to, you know, putting on muscle, then maybe if we looked at that demographic, then we might see a lot more progress compared to like the Olympia level guys. I don't know. I didn't do that study. I didn't do that research, but that he did make it. That was an interesting point, though. It really was. Like I was like, oh shit, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. A point of that actually that kind of brings me to one of the questions that someone asked you is that I think someone was wanting to ask about like your opinion or on like the PEDs in the industry or like people's perception of PEDs in the industry right now. And that had me thinking that honestly, I feel like a lot of people assume that like bodybuilders are lying because they should be running grams and grams of gear, but everybody responds so differently. Like some people need 20 milligrams of Adderall or 50 milligrams of Adderall. Some people only need 5 milligrams, or some people aren't even diagnosed, you know? Same thing can be said for literally any medication or peptide or steroid that you're running in your body, the dosage is going to vary so greatly, like sometimes multiple times each other. If someone's getting the same testosterone level with 100 milligrams of test, but there's also big guys or whatever, getting the same testosterone level with 250 milligrams of test, that's 2.5 times what the other guy's taking. So when someone's running 500 and someone else is running 2 grams, I just don't think you can compare.
No, I agree, man. As a coach, dude, I see it. Like I've had like, I don't know how many people I've coached a couple hundred people over the years. Like, and I've definitely run across people, like at least a dozen, that have better genetics in terms of like building muscle at a lower dose than I do. So you know, and that's me saying I use more than some of my clients. You know, it is what it is. It is. But what I will say too, man, is like, a lot of people back in the day get more shit because they say they were doing very, very little amounts. And then what I find is the quality was a lot different. Like most people today, they get shit from underground labs and the quality is way different. I was like kind of past the peak of like a lot of the guys from the 90s, but I just barely got to know a couple of those guys. And like, once they was like, when the time came where a lot of that pharmaceutical stuff stopped being like in circulation, they talk about like how good that stuff was. Like the last couple pills they could find of certain drugs. And even, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day and he just said, oh, I switched from like an underground lab to like a legitimate like pharmacy where I get my stuff has like, what's it called? Eli. I can't think of the pharmacies now, but yeah, like it's legit from like Walgreens. And he's like, I use half the amount and to have the same levels in my system, you know? So I will say like quality is a thing, but at the same time, like you said, like it's genetic response can vary very widely, man. Like it's both. It's honestly both. Yeah.
I don't know how, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but back in the day when I first started bodybuilding, I never injected anything because I didn't know what I was doing. I just got these orders from a coach. So I was able to, at one point I was taking 50 milligrams of Anavar. And maybe last year I got this Anavar Troche, pharmaceutical Anavar Troche from Transcend, who's the company that I'm paired with. And the shit was literally the same in strength for 25 milligrams.
Yeah.
So when I upped it, that shit was exploding, bro, and it was nuts. It was crazy. Same thing with MK UGL. Like MK Pharma grade was like way too much. I couldn't even take it. It was just too strong.
Dude, I went to Dubai and I was taking like a fat burner here at about like 100 mcg, and I went there to Dubai and tried to take the same amount, and I literally was on my ass. Like I had to lay down. Like my heartbeat was so high, I felt like shit, and I had to cut it down to like 60. So from like 100 to like 60. So definitely people like they underestimate like the quality of the stuff they're getting. Like if you're like 150 pounds and you're taking like 2 grams or something, and you're probably not getting good shit, man.
No, I agree.
So
I agree. I just had this conversation with my coach because I just got my bloods and he was looking at it and he's like, wow, your bloods are actually really good, but your test is super high as we would expect, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, this is good to know because the stuff you're getting is definitely real.
Shit. Yeah. I had a client too, like he just opened up his own clinic and like he's on like a third of the amount and he's bigger and leaner now. Like and he's a pro. He's not a well-known pro yet, but he will be eventually. But I was like, bro, like, great work. stick to the lower amounts, man. You're looking great. You're doing great. I'm really like, this year has like been the year that I've realized how important like quality of what you get is, you know.
So what are your thoughts on the like industry's assumptions of like off-season steroid dosages for pro bodybuilders?
For pro bodybuilders, I think, shit, dude, I barely know what pro bodybuilders take. It's like they're very secretive,
You're
man.
basically
like,
what?
okay, so like, every division. Okay, every division. I think it varies, man. Like I said, man, I really do. I do think people I think on average, if I had to do an average, I would say on average, people think we're taking more than what we are. But especially like at the top of the top, at least in classic, I think in classic, dude, like we probably take less than what they think. Even for myself, man, like I know Chris did a podcast or interview or something where he says he's taking less now than he did in the past. I'm the same way. Like when I was younger, I was taking a lot more than what I am today. I don't really personally, what I think is one of the reasons is once you have that muscle put on, like it's very hard to lose. It's very hard to lose muscle once you have it. Like even to the point where like everyone went through COVID. Like granted, some people, you know, you lost muscle, but like look how quickly everyone gained that muscle back. Like that's like adding that muscle back once you lose it and maintaining muscle once you have it is something very like people don't really realize, you know.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
During
I remember
COVID,
before John passed. You say what?
Before John passed?
Before John passed, I remember like I would like a couple. You guys see my YouTube videos. I would go to his house like a couple times a year, like for the Arnold and whatnot. He was, I don't know. He obviously wasn't at his peak then. He was maybe like 200. You know, obviously when he competed, he was maybe like 220, 230. But like he barely ate food. I remember he would eat like 2 or 3 eggs and some toast, and that would be his breakfast. And then like he wouldn't eat till maybe like dinner. And he could maintain the size he built just from training and that. Damn. And like, it's honestly, he's like probably on the far end of it, but like, like it's legit, man. I remember, some dudes like once you have that muscle, it's hard to lose. Like you'll lose a decent amount. Like you're not gonna be like peak bodybuilder form, but like you'll still be bigger than like 99% of people, and you'll be.
No, seriously, dude.
Yeah.
I just did a Young Lay shoot yesterday with Jay Cutler was there, right? Jay Cutler's 50 years old, bro. That guy is still jacked out of his mind, dude. He's still massive, bro.
Just on TRT, and I guarantee he doesn't eat much.
Exactly.
Guarantee it. Yeah. I guarantee it, dude. Man, it's insane. And then you know what it is? You know what's also crazy, man, is like how lean those older dudes are. Like he's fucking shredded. Like, and I guarantee, like he probably like watches his diet. He probably does cardio, but like he's not like nearly like competition like focused and diet wise. But like he did that photo with hers, and legs are still striated. Legs are still like separated. Same with I've done like posing with Lee Labrada. Lee Labrada's leaner than his son, like year round leaner than his son. Hunter might hate me for saying this, but I guarantee you, like even on show day, if they did like a comparison, like Lee would probably be just on the same level as Hunter, like conditioning wise. Like it's insane, man. But yeah.
Do you mind if I go into some of these questions that people want to ask you?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead.
No, bro, you have nothing to be sorry for. Okay. Someone says, "Can I get your number, bro?"
Oh shit, definitely not.
Let's see. Loke Vidu asks, "Where do you get your inspiration for your posing?"
In the beginning, it was from a lot of like people I looked up to: Lee Labrada, Muhammad Makawi, Francis Benfato, Kai Green. As I started to kind of build my own style, I started to like look elsewhere. So I looked at dancers like the Les Twins. I would look at like anime. I would look at just like arts. Yeah. So that's where I found a lot of it, man. After I got my base, I wanted to build my own style, and that's kind of how I went about it. Yeah.
What's your favorite anime?
Favorite all time is Naruto, but honestly, man, I've been really liking some other animes. I literally have like one on the screen now called what's this thing called? Like the Iron Fortress, Cabaneri Iron Fortress. Okay. It's like a mix between like Attack on Titan and Snowpiercer. If you ever it's pretty dope. It's like these zombie like things, and they're on the train, and like a lot's going on.
That sounds fire, dude.
I got Crunchyroll. I've been watching Crunchyroll every day.
Let's go. Bro, I would do the same thing during prep.
Oh man, but yeah, I would say my favorite is Naruto. I said top five: Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist is great, man, and it's like I like stories that don't have to be like 500 episodes like One Piece. Like One Piece is 1,000 episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah, bro,
Oh
it's
my
crazy.
god. What's the other two? The other two might like vary from time to time, but I like My Hero Academia, and then Code Geass. If you ever seen that one.
Oh yes, dude. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If people like, I know a lot of people seen Death Note. If you like Death Note, you
Yeah.
probably like Code
You're gonna
Geass.
like
Yeah,
Kogias for sure.
yeah.
Those are a lot of my favorites as well, man. Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto, dude. When Naruto first came out, I was like, this is such a cheesy but such a fucking sick show.
Yeah, I haven't
And
been
then
able to
and
get
then the
into
whole story
Boruto.
passes.
But yeah,
Yeah, I haven't either, but like I just feel like I can't really think of many other stories, if any, that are just deeper and more intricate than like the entire universe of Naruto, man. That shit is crazy. I'm just wondering
Yeah.
how long it took that guy to think up all that shit.
I think that's why I like it too, man, because it's really fleshed out. Like they have like the different clans, they have the different powers. A lot of shows are very like small and contained, but this one's like very, very broad and very, very detailed, like you said.
Chris Wolf asks a question that I don't think is funny because I feel like we already answered this, but he asks, what's the best workout to get bigger legs? Which machine is best?
Oh man. So a good leg workout, I would say I would
sets.
have people. That's for me. I would say for most people, you probably want to go a little bit like 3-4 sets per exercise. But one key thing, man, is like, especially like, I mean, training close to failure is very important, man. I want to say like now the research says like you need to be within like 4 or 5 reps of failure for you to get some progress out of it. So being able to really push yourself, because what I find like when I train people in person, man, like I don't do it too often, but anytime I do, is people vastly underestimate how far they can take a set. Like I've had people literally say, like I tell them like, okay, go to failure, and then they're about to rack their weight, and I'm like, no, and then they do 10 more reps, and I'm like, bro, you weren't anywhere near it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where like personally, like I think training is a skill because you kind of have to build up like that mental fortitude to push yourself, especially on legs. And one thing I would say is having a training partner there is probably gonna be your best bet. So, exercise wise, it's not a whole bunch you can do, man. Like it's like fucking 10 exercises overall for legs, you know, some curls, some extensions, some squats, you know, but those are the key things I would say is like being able to push yourself and maybe having a training partner and you'll get some good progress. Yeah.
Nico asks, how involved are you with stoicism in your daily life?
It's kind of like my natural state. Like I don't have to read too much about it. Like even once I found out about it, I was like, oh, this is kind of how I live my life, you know. I do my best to live my life like that. I don't always, you know, succeed at it, but no, I like it a lot, man. A lot of the teachings, like focusing on what you can control, that's probably the most important thing, especially in bodybuilding. Especially in competitive bodybuilding, you know, like at a certain point, man, like the outcome is out of your hands. You know, it's in the hands of the judges. You can do everything perfectly, and you know, it is what it is sometimes. You know, so I try not to, and I tell people too, man. Like a big thing in competitive sports is, I see it a lot with athletes is they tie their value to like their placing. So like. When they don't place well, like they think they're lesser than, and sometimes, which could be even worse, is when they do place well, they think they're hot shit.
Yeah.
And like I'm not gonna name any names. Like I didn't know this, but like there was a show that just happened and someone didn't win, and like that seemed to be what a lot of people thought of him is he placed very well at a show, and then he thought it was hot shit, and then he lost it, and then like it's like, oh, you shouldn't have been that way, you know.
I feel like a lot of us know who that is.
But I was like, oh shit, yeah. But nah, definitely just taking things as they are and like not getting in a big head. I love it. I love the whole mindset of it.
Colin asks, what did you What did you personally think caused your drop in placing the last Olympia?
It was a lot, but I to put it simply, and I'll go into detail too. But to put it simply is like I've always been a person that thought I can do everything all at once, all the time. Like I can handle whatever life throws at me. But yeah, I took on too much that Olympia. Like I was getting the coaching business started. Like I was working like 12-hour days, and like I remember I would be sitting down all day, and Tiff would literally bring me my food. I would be eating, and then by the time I was done eating, it would be time for my next meal. So it'd take me 2 hours to eat a meal because I'd be like trying to multitask. And getting even closer to Olympia, that didn't change much. I was still taking calls for all the coaches because that's what I was like advised to do by the team I had. And even having Tiff here, like it was great in regards that she helped me stay on track with eating, but like stress wise, with having a new person here who's not from the States, who's learning about like a completely different culture all alone, that was a lot to take on too during the prep. Having to like help her understand like living in a different type of situation was definitely not easy. And I tried to coach someone the day before at the amateur Olympia, learned my lesson there. I had another guy reach out, ask me to coach him for this year's Olympia. I was like, nah, bro, it's not gonna happen. Just the mental stress of trying to like make sure they're ready. Even if it's not on the same day, it was a lot. And having to fire a coach the day before the Olympia too, like not like my coach, but like a coach for Iron Eden that I found out was stealing from us. Yeah. So like a couple of things is like learning lessons is like what I did. Like that's why I went out to Dubai for a month to like really focus in and get away from any distractions. And even this Olympia, like work is gonna stop, but I'm not taking any new clients. This is the last week, so 2 weeks out, stop taking new clients. 1 week out, no check-ins with clients. They check in like 8 days out, and then 2 days afterwards. So it's like gives me like a 10-day window just to focus on the show, and just having like a better systems and better things in place, just so I can really focus and not worry about anything. Yeah.
I agree that mentality is a big part of it when it comes to bodybuilding that a lot of people underplay is just that the cortisol and the aldosterone response to just your psyche. Like having honestly a stoic mindset, or at least a peaceful mindset, I think is probably one of the biggest keys to just doing well in general. And
I think so, man. I think so. So
I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this in a friend right now where she's being pushed to the end and she's just holding water weight all the time and she's always wondering why. And I'm like, I don't want to call out your coach, but I know for a fact that you doing 2 hours of cardio with this less of fats, you need to take a tiny little break. Like,
yeah, even if you're not stressed mentally, like systemically, like that's a whole thing as well. Like I had a client, like I had to tell him, like he says he wasn't stressed, but his body just seemed stressed. I said, all right, bro, let's stop taking your sets to failure. Like leave 1 or 2 in the tank, and he just immediately just dropped weight. So even sometimes if you sometimes people aren't very like in tune with themselves too. So you kind of have to like figure out what's going on, like they're not like aware of like really tuned in with their bodies as much as they should be. And I'm one of those people too sometimes. Like I don't know what's going on, I should be a little bit more, but like I don't know, man. I don't feel a lot of things and things like that, Yeah.
Ryan says this is so dope. We need to see a Nile Ruff posing collab.
Hey, we might be out in LA. You live in California, right?
Yeah, I live in California.
We might. I've been talking with the LA Fit Expo. I'm trying to figure out something there, but they want me to have a booth, and I was like, I don't know if I want a booth. I just want to like talk and just like be like. But so I got to figure that out. So me and her might be there.
That'd be sick, dude. That'd be sick.
Yeah. I've never been invited out to Cali. I've never done anything in Cali. I've been like all over the world, but like California, never.
Never California?
Like, well, I've been to California, but never for like an event. The last time I've been to California was right before I turned pro in 2014. I went out there for work and I stopped by Gold's Gym while I was there. So I haven't been into California since then.
Oh, that's crazy, dude. And Goals has changed a lot since then too.
Yeah, but that's what I hear. Yeah.
We should definitely link up, but there's no chance that I'm going to pose next to you because I don't want to be mugged by you. No way, not with your proportions, bro. I am Aaron asks, how do you mentally approach posing or a posing routine?
So pose routines. There's a method. I always choose a song first. If you don't feel it, then the crowd's not going to feel it. So that's one of the biggest things. Is like I get like emotional when I find the right song. I'm like, okay, this is the song I need to do because I just pose better to it. It's easier for me to like make a routine to it too. There's been certain times where I pick a song and I like it, and then I get to like the posing room and like it just doesn't like flow well. I'm like, oh, god damn. And then like I have to like sit around and find a new song. Like some people, like I get messages like, oh man, I can't wait to, I'm excited to see what song you picked out. And I'm like, bro, I haven't picked out a song yet. And it's like 3 weeks out from the show. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it comes early and that's cool. But like sometimes it comes too early. Like I find a song like 6 months out and I'm like, god damn, like I'm going to get tired of this song. So I literally have to like put it away and not listen to it for like months and then come back to it, So that's why sometimes I'll post about a song I'm going to do. And then I end up not doing that on stage. It's because I found something that resonates better with me. But yeah. The only other things I would say is you got to pose with the music. Like that's what elevates a good pose routine to a great one. Like I've seen great posers, like they hit the poses well, they transition well, but it's not cued in with the music. So that's your next level of like greatness. And then the next level would be like doing things with your posing that goes with the song. So like if it says I'm reaching towards the sky, you reach towards the sky. In the Lloyd Blinding Light song, they said something about a clock or something ticking. So like I ticked my arms up. So like having things that actually, it's almost like a interpretive dance, So having your movements cue in not only with like the tempo of the song, but with like the words or like the meaning of the song. So those are like your tiers of making a good routine.
I love that. Whenever I look into video editing and try to think of creative ideas for like amazing video montages or whatever, even if it's a workout montage, I always look at people like Sam Colder, for example. Like everything that they create in the scenes, no matter what, is always with the energy of the song. No matter what it is, it's always with the energy, timed with the energy of the song. And I think that's just like what radiates those feelings to other people.
100%. Like I that's really cool to think about. Like the way I kind of came to that on my own was like I feel like I kind of brought like the, what do you call that style? Like the cinematic music to bodybuilding back in like when I did the survival routine in 2018. And I thought like this matched very well with what we're doing. Like you get this short amount of time to pose and you want to convey all these feelings like in that short amount of time. And that's what I feel like cinematic music does. It takes you through like a roller coaster. Cause like in a movie, they kind of start you off at a baseline and they build you up and they kind of bring you back down. And that's what a lot of times what my music will do. I end up doing a couple different songs outside of that, but that's normally what I like to pose to,
Mm-hmm. Nice. Dude, the posing, those posing like routines are probably the things that give you the most anxiety. I feel like,
man, yeah.
It's one of those things you just have to practice so much. I look at my buddy Josh Manoy, and he just won Mr. Universe from, I think it was Musclemania, and dude has like, when I think of his posing, I think of your posing. You guys have like the best posing I've ever seen, honestly. Down to
my opinion, dude. Like you said, man. Like if I'm the same way though, dude. Like if I would get anxiety if I didn't practice enough. Like I still have to like have the routine down to feel comfortable and confident now on stage. There's still some like there's some good poses that'll wing it, and like the routine's okay. I mean, it's better than okay. It's good, but like I just don't feel good with this doing good. I'd rather have like something like great on stage, because you don't get to pose often on stage. Like I said, like I've done 15 shows in almost 10 years. That's not a whole bunch of times to like normally I get on stage twice a year. So that's 2 times a year I get to bring something like unique to the stage, and I want to bring something good, or great. I don't want to bring something just okay or better than okay, so I always get a little anxious.
Well, I think that's why you do an amazing job, man.
Appreciate it.
Solo Lobo asks, how did he deal with sketchy coaches?
Sketchy what?
Sketchy coaches.
So kind of the reason, like, I won't call him sketchy, just uneducated. But the reason why I went down the path of like learning and coaching was because my first coach, she was okay, but she stopped coaching and going to real estate, and she passed me off to her husband. And I remember like we were prepping for this show, and it just wasn't going well, and things were a little weird, but I didn't know enough to know what he was doing wasn't right. And so basically the way I kind of avoid that now is like, you at least need to have a baseline knowledge of what's going on with your body, with bodybuilding, you need to have a baseline of knowledge, because if you don't know anything, then you're not going to be able to figure out any of the signs that your coaches doesn't know anything. Right. So that kind of sucks that you do have to put some effort into it, but like, you don't need to be the smartest guy in the world, but you need to know a little bit. You need to do a little bit of research, because again, like, this is, at the end of the day, your body, and bodybuilding is like not the safest sport. It can really screw up your body if you're not careful and if you get the wrong person. So just having a little bit of knowledge can go a long way. You don't need to know everything, but like, question your coach a bit, do a little bit of research, and then ask your coach questions. Like, don't ask them everything under the sun, but like, if you ask a question to check in, and like they tell you, all just listen, or all like, just do what I say, that's probably a red flag. So yeah.
Andy Dolan asks, do you think C-Bum will win again?
I think it's definitely possible, man. Like, look at the photos of him, and to be quite honest with you, I think with where his physique is right now, he could win an open show. I'm surprised he's able to make weight. Like, you look at him and like, so the way I like to think about it is I compare him to like guys with similar structure. So like, you compare him to like a Rafael Brando, who's won several open shows. I think Chris would beat Rafael Brando at the shows he's won. I think maybe not Regan now. Regan got pretty big this year. But like the shows Regan has won in the open in the past before this last one, I think Chris's physique now would have beat those physiques. Yeah, dude, I think he's huge. I definitely think even though he's lighter, apparently, he's the only person even in classic that I think could win an open show. Like, this guy's his height. I don't think Ramon could win an open show. I don't think Urs. I don't think the only other guy that's close to him in size is Laszlo. I don't think Laszlo could win an open show, but I definitely think for whatever reason Chris could literally just go up and win an open show. So it's definitely very interesting, man. Very interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that too, man. I don't understand how he makes weight either.
Yeah. Very, very impressive. Very impressive.
If you had decided that you wanted to take off a full year, do you think that would make an impact in how much weight that you could increase? Because I know that right now you're having trouble kind of upping your max weight, right?
Yeah. It's funny. That's what a lot of people didn't really pay attention to me until 2020 when I played second at the Olympia. But the year before that, I had took off 2019 to do just that. I had my first year in 2016. I placed 9th at the Olympia. The next year, I placed 6th. So I was like, okay, I'm moving up. That's great. Then what was it? 2018, I dropped back down to 9th, and I'm like, okay, this isn't going very well, So literally, as soon as I got off stage, I was like, okay, I need to like take next year off because these guys are growing faster than I am, and it paid off big time. Honestly, I thought about doing it This year, but my coach, he argued against it. So I was like, okay. Depending on how, I don't know, dude. Like I'm actually enjoying competing now. So I was like, I was like, maybe next year I'll do it, but I don't know. I really, and then too, dude, I really want to get this most wins in classic out of the way too. Like I'm 2 away from having the most. I have 8 pro wins. The next highest is I think Courage and Chris. They both have 6. Breon has 5. So I have the most actively competing, but there's this guy who retired like 2 years ago who has 9. So I really want to beat that record.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, dude. Like I might compete next year, but part of me I would love to see myself like when I told you I started bodybuilding, there was no classic, and in my head, I thought my best physique, my best look would be 185 pounds on stage, and I've never been that on stage, and I think before I retire, I would like to see what that looks like, because that was like literally the first thought I had with me on the pro stage. So maybe I'll maybe I'll take one more year off and see how that goes. Yeah,
Dude, I'd love to see 185 too.
dude. Honestly, it kind of worries me now. Like, part of me, like, I do want to see it, but part of me thinks like I may actually do worse, because, like I said earlier, like I feel like sometimes when shorter guys get too big, they're like, oh, you need to do 212, you know. But I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be at least one time before I'm done. I'll be in the 180s on stage. Never been 180 on. I've been 179, 178 at one of the Arnolds, and that was my heaviest.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn,
yeah.
dude, crazy. Korean Lifter asks, any observations or thoughts working with bodybuilders from different countries?
I feel like this turns into like a very sensitive topic. But it's funny. Like, I think that's just an American thing. I think in other countries people don't think of it the same. But I feel like in America, like, if you say anything is different about a certain group of people, then it's terrible.
Yeah.
Let me think. What was the question? One more time. What was the question?
Any observations or thoughts working with bodybuilders from different countries?
And this is a Korean guy, right? I work with a lot of Koreans. Like, Koreans like my second home. Like, I've been there 3 times. Like, and I'm going back. Later this year. So, dude, I love it there. But I will say, I don't know if this is controversial. I'll start with saying something about black people. Black people have short calves, so now I can say something about Koreans. I feel like typically the backs are a little bit less developed, and it takes a lot more work for them to build up their backs. Like, I think overall with Koreans in particular, they're very, very round muscle bellies, great quads, great calves, round up top. Conditioning from the front is spectacular, but underdeveloped backs and sometimes a little less conditioning in the glutes is what I see. And I don't know what that is, to be honest with you, because from what I see, dude, like, Korean people are like the most meticulous when it comes to like everything they do, literally everything. Like, I remember seeing a posing class they put on, and it made me feel like crap. Like, they went into like, they had diagrams of anatomy and bone structure and muscles, and I was like, oh my god, I just tell people to move the arm here. They got a whole like dissertation on posing set up. So I don't really know why that is. I mean, just based on what I would imagine, it would be something obviously like done, like something in like their lifestyle over like hundreds of years of just adapting to the environment. I don't know what that would be, but yeah.
Honestly, dude, I feel the exact same way. Like, I don't think it's offensive. I think it's just truth. Like, the Koreans 100%, they have that roundness, the long ass, giant ass quads, long ass calves. The back is always underdeveloped for sure. And then you have like Filipinos, the backs are always fucking insane. But then sometimes some Filipinos, we got like this big space in between our chest. so we don't got that butt chest. And then like we just got weird chest, and then we also like some of us don't have the greatest calves or legs.
Have you ever noticed I've noticed with a lot of Asian people, it's just like right under their chest, there's like an extra like bit of tissue here. Have you ever seen that? Like it's part of the chest, but it's like a little extra tissue like on the side right in the corner here. And I always think that's super interesting. I don't know what that is or what that's
like
called.
when they lift it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can maybe Potvin. Maybe I can find Potvin. But that's the only other thing I found interesting.
But yeah, like Jeremy, like Potvin and
his chest is insane.
Jeremy's just a freak, bro.
Yeah. Holy crap, dude. I've never seen insane.
All right. Well, that's about all the questions I had. There's a few more, but kind of have to run short. But anyways, where can everybody find you?
Ruff Diesel on everything, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Check out my YouTube. I started doing long form YouTube videos.
Let's go.
Yo, so I figured what dude is crazy. It's like social media, it went from like very basic to like having to do like super fucking edited videos, and now it's going back to like just making some real like down to earth stuff again, and I like it. So yeah, check out my new YouTube videos. They're like 30 plus minutes of me just rambling.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. That's what we want, bro. That's what we want.
Dope.
All right. Thanks for being on the podcast, bro. That was fucking awesome. That was fun as hell.
I appreciate it, man. Anytime.
Everybody, I'm sure you guys already know who this is, but check out his page and all his other stuff and socials if you haven't. And also, if you guys want to support the podcast, you can by supporting us. Non-cost fund way. Oh man, I am fried today. Non-cost way, best way is to rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then finally, if you guys are feeling symptoms of low T, my HRT company, which I am with, can offer great medical advice, a lot of professional medical advice. And this is Transcend HRT. They also have a host of other products such as PCTs, peptides, of course, your TRT and your HRT products and more. So that will be in the link in the description. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Oh, wait. I got one more question. What is a Ruff Diesel from?
So my cousin is an old football name that was given to me by my cousin. And so when I made my first Instagram page, I didn't know what to put. So I just put that. It was like a football name, in high school. Let me see if I can find you guys can look at my cousin here. He doesn't lift anymore, but this was him back in the day.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
He's got good genetics. Yeah. He did one show and then he called it quits. I prepped him for it. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but he made me prep him for it. So yeah, this was the only show he did at like 20. He was probably like 23. I'm jealous of his arms. Dude. Yeah, he honestly, probably if he would have like stuck to it, he probably would have been great. Yeah, this is 2017, so he's the same age as me. So
yeah, dude, he looks like a sick structure.
So 22. He was like 22 years old here.
Damn.
23, yeah. But all natty there too. So yeah. So he gave me that nickname.
Nice. Okay. Makes more sense now. But well, thanks for coming on the podcast, bro. Hit me up whenever you're making your way to LA, or if you come to that LA Expo.
Yeah. I just gotta respond to the email, and I guess I gotta have a booth. So you guys can come check out my booth. I don't know what I'm gonna have there. I don't have any but I'll be standing there at a white table. So
let's go. Bet. All right, bet. I'll catch you there, bro.
All right, peace.
All right, thanks everyone. See you guys. Peace.